Hi everybody, my name is Amy and I'm one of the librarians who works in the Pennsylvania department at Carnegie Library of Pittsburgh. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about one of the websites that we use all the time helping people with family history research here in Pittsburgh and Allegheny County, but that very few people seem to know about. I'm always surprised when we are introducing people to this site. And this site is called FamilySearch.org. And it is similar to using Ancestry. So if you're familiar with using Ancestry, you'd have a lot of the basic ideas down and how to use FamilySearch. But there are records in FamilySearch that are not available in Ancestry. And the other big difference between the two sites is that FamilySearch is absolutely free to use. You have to create a username and a password, but once you're in, all of the records are available for free. So what exactly will you find on FamilySearch? You will find, first and foremost, what we are all looking for, those historical records. There is a little bit of overlap with Ancestry in that you will find the census records in FamilySearch as well as in Ancestry, but after that, you will find very little crossover. So when you are looking at vital records, probate and court records, school records, and church records, those are going to be things that are not on Ancestry. You will also find user-submitted genealogies, and just a reminder to always take those with a grain of salt. Don't assume they got all their research right. You'll find digitized family history books. Those are local and family histories. You'll find genealogy periodicals, gazetteers, and a lot more. The other thing I really like about FamilySearch, with some caveats, is their family tree feature. So if you're not sure you want to invest in family tree software, or if you're not sure you want to subscribe to Ancestry and use that family tree, the FamilySearch family tree is a good way to start organizing your research. The thing that drives me a little bit nuts about it is that you are contributing to a worldwide shared public family tree. So when you start inputting your information and your family members, if FamilySearch finds a matching record on someone else's family line, they will just automatically assume they are the same person and connect your family lines. On one hand, this is great because you might find resources or information that you didn't have before, but this drives me nuts because not everybody does a really great job of documenting all of their sources for where they got the information that they put into that family tree. Now, because this is public and shared, if you are concerned about privacy, I do want to reassure you that information about living people is not visible to anyone except the person who entered it into FamilySearch. So your information, your spouse or children, this information will not be out there for anyone to see. The other thing I wanted to point out from FamilySearch is the FamilySearch Wiki. And this is basically a giant online encyclopedia of genealogy tips, research tips, and information about where to find vital records in all 50 states as well as most foreign countries. So if you're just casting about trying to figure out where to get started, this is always where I go to try to figure out what information is public information, what information is online for various states where people are doing research. Most of the collections in FamilySearch represent records that are from the United States and continental Europe, followed closely in number by records from the United Kingdom and then Canada. There are records from other regions, but you're talking 10 or 20 sets of records compared to the 600 sets of records that are available for the US. FamilySearch has been working with local governments, with churches, with schools, with libraries and archives since 1938 to amass all of the data that you'll find on FamilySearch. Originally, of course, in 1938, they were microfilming all of this information, but now they are digitizing when they reach out to different entities that hold records. Some of the records that you will find on FamilySearch are restricted access because of the agreements that FamilySearch made with the original owners of the records. And you'll know that's the case when you are looking in the catalog record and you'll see a little camera icon at the far right-hand side of the screen. If you're seeing that, that means there are digitized images and they are available. If you see a little camera with a key next to it, that means that those records do have some restrictions on access, and you would need to be at either a family history center or an affiliate library to view those records. CLP in the Pennsylvania department is considered an affiliate library, but you do have to be in the building to be recognized as using that. So when we reopen, please feel free to give us a call to see if a record set that you need that's restricted is available to us, or if you would have to go to a family history center for that. And there are a couple in the area, and we can point you in the right direction. The other thing to keep in mind with FamilySearch is that only 30% of the records that they have collected are indexed, meaning they have not been, only those 30% have been transcribed and entered into their database to be searchable. So 70% of the record collections in FamilySearch, you have to do the research the old-fashioned way, as if you were using microfilm, but you can do it from the comfort of home in your fuzzy slippers. So you'll use the catalog feature to find all of those unindexed records and basically work through them. So if you were looking for example, the Pittsburgh city deaths, you could navigate to that through the catalog and then use the indexes in each volume of the book to get to the information that you need. Now, if you haven't used the catalog in FamilySearch before, we did a help video a few weeks ago where my colleague Katie demonstrated the steps you would use to use the catalog and then navigate to records for Allegheny County. And once you know the steps, all of that process can be transferred to any other area where you're currently doing research. So please post any questions about FamilySearch or using the catalog or anything else in the comments below, and we will do our best to answer them. And that is all from me for this week. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.